Howdy, everyone. My name is Nick Oldham. I'm Assistant General Chairman of the Atchison, Topeka, Santa Fe, Frisco, also known as the ATSFF System Federation. I'm here to answer some Southline agreement questions as well as some BN agreement questions. So let's get started. In today's video, we will be talking about Rule 33B as in Bravo. This is a continuous service rule in the Southline agreement. Rule 33B, time worked after 16 hours of continuous service, basically states this. An employee that has worked 16 hours is entitled to double time unless that time worked is during assigned hours, in which case the employee is entitled to overtime. And the only thing that can break this is 8 consecutive hours of rest outside of assigned hours. In this first example, we have an employee that has assigned hours of 0600 to 1430. The employee worked through his regular meal period and continued working until 23:30. The employee did, however, receive a subsequent meal. What is the employee entitled to? The employee will pay 8 straight hours from 0600 to 1430, as well as his paid through lunch. However, the paid through lunch meal period is not counted to his 16 hours for continuous service. The employee will then pay 8 hours of overtime from 1430 to 2230, at which point he has reached continuous service with 16 hours. He then will pay 1 hour of double time from 2230 to 2330. The following day, the employee will remain on continuous service because he did not receive 8 consecutive hours of rest outside of his assigned hours. He will then pay 8.5 hours of overtime because we are entitled to pay through our meal periods when we are on overtime. Let's take a look at another example. In this example, the employee's assigned hours are from 0700 to 1530. The employee worked his shift and was released from service. The roadmaster then called the employee back into service. After the repairs were made, the roadmaster instructed the employee to reset his DOT hours by not returning to work until 1000 hours. The employee completed his tour of duty on that day and returned to work the following day at 1000 hours and worked until 1730. What is the employee entitled to? The employee will pay 8 straight hours for his assigned hours from 0700 to 1530. The employee is not entitled to pay the hours from 1530 to 1800 because he was off duty and these were not assigned hours. The employee will then pay 5.5 hours of overtime from 1800 to 2330. For the following day, the employee will pay 2.5 hours of straight time from 0700 to 0930. At this point, the employee has reached the 16 hours for continuous service. The employee is entitled to these hours, even though he was at home resting for his DOT hours, because these were assigned hours. He then will pay 6 hours of overtime from 0930 to 1530 and 2 hours of double time from 1530 to 1730. If the employee continues to work without an 8-hour consecutive break outside of assigned hours, then he will remain on continuous service. But if he does receive the break, then his assigned hours will reset the following day to straight time. In closing, remember the following. We must accumulate 16 hours of work to reach continuous service, also known as CS. This does not include our paying through a regular meal period or travel time. Only assigned, straight time, overtime, double time, or triple time hours. The only thing that stops CS is an 8-hour consecutive break outside of assigned hours. DOT hours of service do not affect Rule 33B continuous service. Rule 33B CS applies to employees governed under the South Lines Collective Bargaining Agreement, except for track supervisors, because the overtime rules are different for track supervisors and can be found in Appendix number 23 of the South Lines Collective Bargaining Agreement. And finally, there are railroad rumors that we cannot reach CS on the weekends or rest days. This is not true. The same rules apply to CS regardless if it was a rest day or work day. However, more than likely we will reach an 8-hour consecutive break outside of assigned hours on rest days, which will stop our continuous service. I hope today's video helped, but if you'd like more information about our union, please visit our website at atsff.com or download our app with the same name. We also have a Facebook page, AT&SFF System Federation, and a YouTube channel, ATSFF System Federation, #Southline Union, to find more educational videos like this. And as always, if you need to talk to us directly, please give us a call. Our office number is 316-283-1470. Thank you for taking the time today to educate yourself on our agreements. Knowledge is power, and the strength of our union begins with educating our membership. Please share these videos with other members, and if you have any questions, please contact us. Again, thanks and have a safe day.